What Chinedum did not know was this: before the sun would set that day, his life would begin changing forever. More in here, the episode 3 of the story, The Orphan. Let's dive in. Morning sunlight slowly entered the forest. Birds sang softly from distant trees. But inside the old woman's hut, Chinedum felt uneasy. All night, he had barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he remembered the forbidden stream, the stories villagers told about it, the warnings, the fear. Even grown men avoided that place after sunset. Yet today, the old woman wanted to take him there herself. The boy sat quietly near the fire while the old woman prepared food. She moved calmly as though nothing unusual was about to happen. But Chinedum's heart remained restless. Finally, he spoke softly. "Mama." The old woman turned. "Yes, my child. Why do people fear the stream so much?" The woman became quiet. For a moment, only the sound of boiling water filled the hut. Then she sighed deeply. "Because fear grows easily in places people do not understand." Chinedum frowned slightly. "What does that mean?" The old woman sat down slowly opposite him. "Many years ago," she began, "people used that stream freely. That water was clean. Farmers fed from it. Children played near it. Then, what happened?" The old woman looked towards the window. Greed. That single word hung heavily in the air. Chinedum listened carefully. "There were people," she continued. "Those hearts became consumed by selfishness. They wanted blessings without kindness, wealth without honesty, power without compassion." The boy swallowed nervously. "And the stream changed?" The woman nodded slowly. "From that time, strange things began happening around that forest. Fear spread. People stopped going there." Chinedum lowered his eyes. "Mama, will something happen to me there?" The old woman stared at him carefully. Then she smiled gently. "No." The answer came so confidently that the fear inside him reduced slightly. Still, questions remained in his mind. Who truly was this old woman? Why did she know so much? And why did he feel strangely safe around her? Far away in the village, Mama Oriako woke up smiling. For 7 days, peace has filled this compound. No Chinedum, no extra mouth to feed, no quiet face reminding them of his late father. She stretched lazily while Oriako braided her hair nearby. "Mama," Oriako asked, "do you think Chinedum will ever return?" Mama Oriako laughed carelessly. "That boy is gone." Naya joined in proudly. "I told you, the forest would swallow him." The entire family laughed. Only Uncle Ezani remained quiet. Something inside him felt uneasy. Every night, since Chinedum disappeared, he had strange dreams. Brother staring silently at him. Dreams of dark forests. Dreams of voices whispering his name. He tried ignoring them, but the fear inside him continued growing. Mama Oriako noticed his silence. "Why are you looking worried?" Uncle Ezani forced a smile. "I am fine." But deep inside, he was not fine at all. Back inside the forest, The old woman stood up slowly. It is time. Immediately, Chinedum's heartbeat increased. The woman carried 2 empty calabashes. Then she handed one to him. "Stay close to me," she said calmly. The boy nodded nervously. Together, they stepped outside the hut. Morning mist covered the forest path. Tall trees blocked much of the sunlight. Everything felt strangely quiet. As they walked deeper into the forest, Chinedum noticed unusual things. Some trees had ancient markings carved into them. Stained white clothes hung from branches. At one point, he saw birds suddenly fly away from nearby bushes as though something invisible moved there. Fear slowly returned into his chest. "Mama." "Yes." Are we close?" The old woman nodded. "Very close." The deeper they walked, the closer the air became. Even the wind sounded different. Soon, Chinedum heard something ahead. Water, flowing gently. His breathing stopped for a moment. The forbidden stream. Finally, they arrived. The stream looked nothing like the terrifying place villagers described. The water was crystal clear. Smooth stones rested beneath the surface. Tall trees surrounded the area peacefully. Sunlight reflected beautifully on the moving water. Chinedum looked around in confusion. "This place," the old woman smiled softly, "is not what people expected." The boy nodded slowly. "There is no danger here." The old woman's eye narrowed slightly. "Danger does not always announce itself loudly, my child." Those words made Chinedum uncomfortable again. The woman walked towards the water carefully. "Come." The boy followed slowly. As they approached the stream, something strange happened. The wind suddenly stopped moving. The birds became silent. Even the flowing water seemed quieter. Then, the old woman stepped into the stream barefooted, and immediately the water around her feet began shining softly. Chinedum's eyes widened in shock. "Mama." But the woman remained calm. She bent slowly and filled the calabash with water. Then another. When she stood up again, the shining disappeared. The forest became normal once more. Chinedum could barely speak. What? What was that?" The old woman faced him carefully. Not everything in this world can be explained with ordinary eyes. Fear and wonder mixed together inside him. The woman walked back towards the shore. Then she handed him one calabash of water. "Carry this carefully." Then the woman entered the hut-like shelter beside the stream. When she returned, she held a small covered calabash. Unlike the others, this one had strange symbols carved around it. The old woman placed it carefully into Chinedum's hand. "This," she said softly, "must not be opened here." Chinedum stared at it nervously. "What is inside?" The woman looked directly into his eyes. "Your future." The boy froze completely. "My future?" She nodded. "When you returned home, call everyone together before opening it." Chinedum swallowed hard. "What will happen?" The old woman smiled mysteriously. "That depends on the heart standing around you." Those words confused him deeply. Before he could ask another question, the woman touched his shoulder gently. Listen carefully, Chinedum. The boy nodded. No matter what happens, do not become proud. Her voice suddenly sounded serious. Do not allow suffering to turn your heart wicked. I won't. Promise me. I promise. The old woman smiled again. Then, unexpectedly, she placed her hand softly on his head. At that exact moment, a strange peace entered Chinedum's heart, like warmth spreading through his body, like years of pain quietly lifting. The old woman closed her eyes briefly. Then she whispered softly, "Your parents would be proud of you." Tears instantly filled Chinedum's eyes. Nobody had mentioned his parents in years. Nobody remembered them anymore. He whispered painfully. The old woman looked at him carefully. Good people are never forgotten. The journey back to the village began quietly. Chinedum carried the water carefully in one hand and the covered calabash in the other. As he walked, his mind remained filled with questions. Who truly was that old woman? How did the water shine? What was inside the calabash? And why did it feel heavier than ordinary clay? After some time, Chinedum suddenly realized something. The old woman was no longer beside him. He stopped immediately. Mama, no answer. He turned around quickly. The path behind him was empty. Only trees, only silence. Fear covered him instantly. Mama, still no answer. The old woman had completely disappeared. Chinedum's heartbeat increased. How could someone vanish so suddenly? The boy looked around nervously. Then, slowly, a soft breeze moved through the trees, and faintly, almost like a whisper, he heard her voice one last time. Go home, my child. Back in the village, evening slowly approached. Villagers moved about peacefully. Children played under trees. Women returned from the market. Then, suddenly, someone screamed, Chinedum! People turned immediately. There he was, walking slowly into the village, carrying water and a covered calabash. Shock spread everywhere. How is he alive? He returned from the forbidden stream. Villagers rushed outside in disbelief. Inside Uncle Ezani's compound, plates fell from Mama Oriako's hand. Oriako screamed loudly. Enyinaya nearly dropped his food, and Uncle Ezani stood frozen like stone. Because the boy they believed would never return was walking straight towards the compound. Chinedum entered the compound quietly. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Mama Oriako forced a fake smile. Chinedum, but fear already filled her eyes. The boy looked at everyone calmly. Then he spoke quietly. The old woman said everybody should come outside. Confusion spread across their faces. What old woman? Uncle Ezani asked nervously. The woman from the forest. Immediately, fear crossed Uncle Ezani's face. Because long ago, he had once heard stories about a mysterious woman living near the forbidden stream, but nobody had seen her for many years. Chinedum carefully placed the covered calabash on the ground. Villagers gathered around the compound fence curiously. What is happening? What did he bring? The tension grew heavier. Then, slowly, Chinedum remembered the old woman's words. That depends on the heart standing around you. Fear suddenly entered him, but it was too late now. Everyone was already watching. The orphan boy took a deep breath. Then, suddenly, he stretched his hands towards the calabash. It's the end of episode 3. What was hidden inside the mysterious calabash? Why did old woman want Chinedum not to become proud? And why did fear suddenly enter Uncle Ezani's heart the moment he heard about the woman from the forest? In the next episode, all this will be revealed. So, if you have not subscribed to my channel, do well to do so that you don't miss out on the next episode. Thank you.